Coming up tonight on KPVI News at 10, we'll have the results from primary elections, and Ross Park will have a new concessionaire. KPVI News at 10 starts now.
You're watching KPVI News at 10. KPVI News at 10. News that works for you.
Good evening and thanks for watching tonight. I'm Misty Ingla. We start with continuing coverage. It's day 27 of the Chad Daybell trial. Today, his son-in-law Joseph Murray continued his testimony. The state presented bank account records which showed Joseph got an $8,000 deposit into his checking account on June 9th, 2020, the day JJ and Tylee's remains were found in Chad's backyard. His wife Emma got a $9,000 deposit, both from Chad. Joseph says he believes all the kids got $8,000. Joseph also mentioned meeting Lori Vallow the day after Tammy's funeral at Chad's house. The next witness was Dr. Kathy Raven, a certified pathologist. She reviewed Dr. Christensen's autopsy report on Tammy. Dr. Raven says she also found no anatomical or toxicological cause of death, but she said nothing pointed to asphyxia as cause of death, so she believes it should have been listed as undetermined. Dr. Raven also mentioned it's possible Tammy died from an arrhythmia, which wouldn't show up in an autopsy. An investigator with the Idaho Attorney General's office, a retired Rexburg police detective, and one of Chad's neighbors also briefly took the stand today. Due to travel issues with witnesses, court ended early today and will resume tomorrow morning. The Idaho Falls Fire Department responded to a structure fire. It happened early this morning at a business in the 500 block of 2nd Street. The owner of the business called 911 saying they received a notification of activity from a security system and they saw smoke on the security cameras. When firefighters arrived, they could see flames through the windows. The fire was quickly extinguished. Damages are estimated at less than $10,000. The cause of the fire is under investigation. All right, let's get a first look at our weather tonight. So we go to East Idaho's Chief Meteorologist Doug Iverson. Hey, Doug.
Well, we still have one more flood warning out, the river flood warning for the Portland River at Pocatello. Some really good news here. It is barely above flood stage in the Gate City at 8.6 feet. Flood stage is 8.5 feet. And the thinking is right now it will drop below flood stage this weekend. So how about that? We're looking forward to that. Hopefully it works out temperature-wise. Yeah, we're still in the 50s, a lot of us right now. Warmest spot on this map goes to Aberdeen at 56. 51 for you, Rexburg, and it's 45 currently at Island Park. Car wash tracker, you're not looking good tomorrow. Yeah, you may want to just hold off. Even Thursday is kind of iffy. Friday, though, you got the thumbs up. Misty?
All right, thank you, Doug. It's, of course, Election Day, and we talked with local election officials about early voting turnout for this primary. Julie Hancock, the Bannock County Elections Administrator, says they definitely have lower numbers coming out of early voting than they had in 2022. She says they're a little over 1,000 short of what they did in that year.
Well, I think our turnout may be a little bit lower just because the parties caucused this year instead of putting a presidential candidate on a ballot in a primary. Both Republican and Democratic parties are caucusing this year, which may make a difference in turnout. We also don't have the bigger races like governor, secretary of state. Those races aren't on this ballot either.
To some election results. These are all preliminary numbers, but about 91% of the precincts are reporting. These are no means final numbers. We're going to start in Bannock County in the Republican race for State Senator District 35, where Doug Toomer is running against incumbent Mark Harris. Right now, it is 52% Mark Harris to Doug Toomer's 47%.
And we move to the race for representative in District 28, Seat A. That is a three-person race between Mike Seville and Rick Cheatham and James Lamborn. You can see there it looks like a little bit of a runaway for Rick Cheatham. He's got a little over 1,000 votes. James is in second with 740 and Mike Seville with 569.
Now we stay in District 28 for the race for representative seat B between Dan Garner and Kurt Jackson. Right now, Dan Garner is holding with 51% to Kurt Jackson's 48%.
And for State Representative District 35, Seat B, the race is between Joshua Wheeler and Brett Skidmore. And these are Bannock County numbers, so we've got 393 votes for Wheeler, 303 votes for Skidmore. That's about 56% to 43%.
We're going to move now to the commissioner races where there are two contested races on the Republican side. First, District 1, which is a 2-year term. Larry Burden is running against incumbent Ernie Moser. Right now, Ernie Moser has about 3,326 votes to Larry Burden's 2,584 votes.
The other contested commissioner seat is seat 3, which is a 4-year term. Ken Bullock is running against John Crowder, who is the incumbent. And right now, we actually would have an upset. Ken Bullock is leading with 3,043 votes to Crowder's 2,914 votes, so a close one there.
Also on the ballot for Bannock County is the race for prosecuting attorney, as Stephen Herzog is not running. So on the Republican side, it's a race between Ian Johnson and Aaron Tognetti. Right now, Ian Johnson is holding 63% with Aaron Tognetti's 36%.
Now we move to the Democratic ballot, and one contested race is for Bannock County Commissioner seat 3. That's Tamara Code, who's running against Dave Archuleta. Right now, Tamara Code is leading the way with 57% of the votes at 906 to Dave Archuleta's 680 votes, or about 42%.
There are a few ballot measures up for vote in Bannock County also. The first is the $33 million 10-year bond for School District 25. Now, while this is on the ballot, the school district has said that this bond is not necessary, as the district will be receiving money from the Idaho legislature. So far, in favor of the bond, 37%, and against 62%.
Another ballot issue is the South Bannock County Library District's 10-year, $1 million levy. Right now, 59% of votes are in favor of it, and 40% are voting against it.
And finally, the Pocatello Valley Fire District $52,000 override tax levy. Right now in favor of it is 64%, against it 35%. This just needs a simple majority to pass.
All right, let's move to Bonneville County and the Republican ballot. And again, these are also very early preliminary numbers, so we got a long ways to go. But the first race is for State Senator District 32 between Kevin Cook and Keith Newberry. Right now, Kevin Cook leads 819 votes to Newberry's 269.
And we have a 3-person rate for State Representative District 32 Seat A. Sean Crystal is running against Kelly Golden and incumbent Stephanie Mickelson. Right now we have Sean at 228 votes, Kelly at 916 votes, and incumbent Stephanie Mickelson with 1,831 votes.
Then we have an interesting race for State Representative District 32 Seat B, as the mayor of Ammon, Sean Coletti, is running against incumbent Wendy Horman and lawyer Brian Smith. Right now it's a close one with Coletti and Horman. Sean Coletti has 1,171 votes. Wendy Horman, the incumbent, just ahead with 1,294 votes, and Brian Smith with 604.
Also for Representative District 33 Seat B, we have Julian Berger running against Marco Erickson. Jeline Berger, Marco Erickson. Right now we have 1,378 for Jeline and 1,811 votes for Marco.
And in District 33, running on the Republican ballot for senator is Dave Lent versus Brian Schulz. Right now, Dave Lent is leading 1,939 votes to Brian Schulz's 1,245 votes.
Now to the race for Bonneville County Commissioner, District 3. This is a 4-person race for the 4-year open seat with Deborah Hackey, Barrett Miller, Michelle Mallard, and Alan Steele all vying for the seat. We currently have Deborah Hackey at 1,337 votes. We have Barrett Hiller at 1,435 votes. Michelle Mallard in the lead with 2,241 votes, and Alan Steele with 2,039 votes.
There are 2 people running on the Republican side for Bonneville County prosecuting attorney, and that's John Malick versus incumbent Randy Neal. Right now, Randy Neal, the incumbent, is leading the way with 3,597, and just behind him is John Malick with 3,234 votes.
For ballot issues in Bonneville County, there's a $1.5 million 2-year levy increase in Ammon. Right now in favor of, we have a 48% and against 51%.
All right, moving to Bingham County and the Republican ballot. 2 candidates are up for the Senate seat in District 30. That's Julie Van Orden running against Jerry Truth Bingham. Right now, Julie Van Orden is kind of running away with that one with 4,398 votes, and with about half of that, at a little over 2,500, we have Jerry Bingham.
And 2 candidates are vying for District 30 Representative Seat A, Josh Sorensen and David Cannon. Josh Sorensen currently has 3,100 votes, or 45%, and Dave Cannon 3,709 with 54%.
2 candidates running for District 30 Representative Seat B. Those are Ben G. Furman and Julianne Young. Right now, Ben Furman is just inching over Julianne Young with 3,507, or 50.5%. Julianne Young right behind him, though, with 3,432 votes, or 49.4%.
3 candidates are up for Bingham County Commissioner in District 1, Drew Jensen, Mark R. Bear, and Stephen R. Wolf. This is a 2-year term. Drew Jensen is currently at 8552 with Mark Bear's 2813 and Stephen Wolf's 1,110 votes.
And another pretty close race for Bingham County Commissioner District 3 seat. Those candidates are Eric Jackson and Will Ullman. Eric Jackson right now has 3,421 or 52% of the votes, and Will Ullman has just over 3,000 at 47% of the votes.
And finally, two candidates are running for Bingham County Sheriff, Jeff Fardner and Jimmy Barbary. Jeff Fardner currently has 83% of the vote with over 5,000 votes. Jimmy Barbary has 16% of the vote with a little over 1,000 votes.
And as those results continue to come in, you can go to our website, kpvi.com, click on Decision 2024. That'll give you all the latest results, including all other eastern Idaho counties. Still to come on KPVI News at 10, students are protesting in support of a local teacher. Those details coming up. First, let's check back in with Doug Iverson on our weather. Doug.
Thank you there, Misty. A little warmer out there today, especially for you, Idaho Falls. You were in the 60s, unlike yesterday. However, 29 last night, only 2 degrees shy of a record low. Wow, is that cold? Won't be nearly as cold tonight. Forecast is next.
You're watching KPVI News at 10 with Matt Davenport, Misty England, and East Idaho's Chief Meteorologist Doug Iverson. KPVI News at 10, news that works for you. And now Storm Tracker weather with East Idaho's Chief Meteorologist Doug Iverson.
Well, certainly nice out there to catch our breath before the next storm. And the next storm is right on our heels. Rain likely tomorrow in the Snake River Plain. It may start off in the morning for some areas, shower-like, and then full-blown rain by the afternoon, with the heaviest rain expected tomorrow night. Then the wind will start picking up tomorrow night, and that will set the stage for strong winds on Thursday. We could see wind gusts as high as 40 to 45 miles per hour. And then after the wind subsides, we quickly warm up. In fact, warming up quite a bit on Friday. Some of us will be in the 70s. So what a way to end the work week right before the holiday weekend, huh? So our next system, area of low pressure, the engine that's driving all this moisture across Washington, Oregon. Already starting to see the clouds from that, even here in East Idaho. As I mentioned just a second ago, it may be dry in the morning, but just wait for it later on in the day. If you don't end up needing your umbrella in the morning, you'll certainly need it in the afternoon, evening. And then the wind, oh my goodness, yeah, it's going to be pretty windy overnight. That may actually wake you up in the middle of the night, so windy out there. With this next round of moisture coming in with that low pressure system, the core, the coldest area of that low, will be right over the top of Lemhi County, which is the reason why the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch starting tomorrow evening and continuing through Thursday morning. Now, above 5,500 feet, 3 to 9 inches of snow. That includes you, Ledor. Possibility of seeing that much snow there. Salmon, you may see an inch, maybe 2, but the heaviest will stay well above you. Your elevation's not nearly as high as 5,500 feet. That's what, 1,500 feet above you. So good news there. But a lot of the mountain passes along Highway 28, of course, Lost Trail, it's going to probably be a real bear to get up and over, especially into Friday morning. So take a look at the forecast for tonight. We got 47, not as cold as last night, so we stay out of the 30s and we stay in the 40s. We're looking at lows warmer across the board. All of the Snake River Plain tonight will be warmer than last night. Wind speeds will range from 5 to 15. Same thing for Idaho Falls, 43. That beats the 29 we had last night, and clouds will continue to increase overnight. It's that extra cloud cover that's going to keep us a bit warmer. Now tomorrow we go back in the 50s for highs. Reason being, rain on the way. Rain likely during the warmest part of the day, so we really won't get all that warm. Another day below average. Southwest breeze 10 to 20. That's in the late afternoon, and the winds will start picking up tomorrow evening. Pocatello will hit 60 for a couple of minutes with rain on the way, if not in the morning, certainly in the afternoon. Southwest wind 10 to 20. Elsewhere, we got rain in the forecast with a risk of thunderstorms in the central mountains. Chalice here at 57 for a high. Arco around 54. Warmest temperature on this map, Malad City at 66. And if you want warmer, just go south. Salt Lake City tomorrow, partly sunny at 75. A mostly cloudy one in Logan with a high of 70. Your Southeast Idaho Chevy dealer 7-day forecast. We got 70s coming back fast. Just give it about 3 days. Friday, we hit 70. We're not there long. We get a little cooler this weekend. But look at Memorial Day. You see that? 72. Yeah, no raindrops or snow or anything, at least for the holiday weekend. So that's good. We're 64 on Saturday, and then we're cooler Sunday, warming right back up on Monday. Rexburg, same thing. Not a bad holiday weekend for the unofficial, or maybe it's the official start of summer. But anyway, it's going to be a good one. We just got to get there. We got a lot of wind for Thursday, 67 on Friday. Then we're looking at 60s for a couple of days of the holiday weekend for the Teton area. Rain, snow tomorrow night with rain, snow Thursday morning. Chance of rain Saturday afternoon for the Central Mountains. No real threat of rain this weekend with 72 for the holiday. Misty?
All right, thank you very much, Doug. Still to come on KPVI News at 10, the Ross Park Aquatic Complex is getting ready to open for the summer. Details next.
In other news tonight, students from the Marsh Valley Joint School District held a walkout in front of the administration office yesterday. According to Idaho News, between 40 and 50 students protested peacefully in response to a decision made at a school board meeting to eliminate one of the two positions in the business department. The district has a rubric placed based on several factors to determine what staff members are either removed or transferred to teaching in another subject. Superintendent Gary Tucker says a decline of the number of students was part of the decision, and eliminating a business position would affect the fewest number of classes. Tucker also says the elimination does not necessarily mean the teacher will lose their job. Students want to meet with the superintendent or the rest of the school board, whose next meeting is June 10th.
Pocatello-Chubbuck School District Board of Trustees has filled its Zone 1 vacancy. At a special meeting yesterday, the board conducted interviews for the position. 8 people submitted their resumes and letters of intent to serve. In a 3-to-1 vote, the board approved Megan Furness as the new trustee. Her term will run through December 2025, and Zone 1 will be up for election on November 2025 ballots.
The Ross Park Aquatic Complex is getting ready for the summer season. It'll open Saturday at noon, weather permitting. Ross Park will be running a modified schedule for a few days after Memorial Day due to area schools not quite being out yet. The pool will open for the Memorial Day weekend and then close May 28th through the 31st. The complex will reopen June 1st and remain open through August 18th. Ross Park is under construction to prepare for new water slides, which could open later this summer.
And speaking of Ross Park, the concession stand will have a new operator this season. Jumbo's Cafe announced on Facebook they will be running the concessions this season. They'll be operating as Jumbo's Splash and Grill. They're still finalizing their menu, but plan to have items like burgers, chicken tenders, chicken sandwiches, finger steaks, fries, and other munchies, nachos, sodas, drinks, and desserts. Jumbo's is working on a new Facebook page for the grill with all the details. They open Saturday. Still to come on KPVI News at 10, Pedigree is recalling its dog food. We'll tell you why and what's included next.
You're watching KPVI News at 10. KPVI News at 10. News that works for you.
Now to national news. Rudy Giuliani and 10 others have pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiring to overturn the 2020 presidential election results in Arizona. They entered their pleas in an Arizona court this morning. It follows grand jury indictments last month charging more than a dozen Trump allies for efforts to overturn the 2020 election result in the state. During the court appearance, Giuliani was ordered to post a $10,000 bond for ducking the state's efforts to serve him with a summons. Prosecutors finally caught up with him in Palm Beach, Florida on Friday.
Former President Trump has taken down a video posted to his Truth Social account that includes references to a, quote, unified Reich. The video was taken down early this morning. It featured hypothetical newspaper headlines about a booming economy and a crackdown on immigration. Twice in the video, text below a larger headline read, quote, industrial strength significantly increased, driven by the creation of a unified Reich, end quote. A Trump campaign spokesperson says the video was created by someone outside the campaign and shared by a staffer who did not notice the use of the word Reich before posting.
President Biden's political operation raised $51 million in April. That's a significant decline from its March fundraising. That's according to totals released by his campaign. Biden aides say the campaign and affiliated committees still ended the month with $192 million in the bank. Earlier this month, former President Trump aides announced he had raised more than $76 million for his campaign and allied committees in April.
In consumer news now, Pedigree is recalling hundreds of bags of dog food across 4 states. The brand's parent company, Mars Pet Care, issued the recall because loose metal pieces may be in the bags. The impacted products include the 44-pound bags of Pedigree Adult Complete Nutrition grilled steak and vegetable flavor dry dog food. There have been no reports of injury or illness. Customers are asked to throw out the food and contact Mars Pet Care for a refund.
Inflation has financially deflated much of the U.S. Close to 2/3 of people polled say their livelihoods have dropped due to higher costs. That's according to a survey from the Federal Reserve, which also says about 1 out of every 6 adults weren't able to pay all their bills on a monthly basis. 65% also say inflation has made their lives worse, with 19% claiming it's much worse. Analysts say the U.S. economy has shown strength in some areas, including job growth and pay raises, but the higher prices appear to be playing a factor for some households.
The Biden administration is releasing 1 million barrels of gasoline from a Northeast reserve in an effort to lower prices at the pump this summer. The sale will come from storage sites in New Jersey and Maine and will be allocated in increments of 100,000 barrels at a time to create a competitive bidding process. According to the Energy Department, the sale will require that fuel is transferred or delivered no later than June 30th.
Still to come on KPVI News at 10, a museum in Florida has a Jurassic Lego display. We'll take a look at that next.
You're watching KPVI News at 10. KPVI News at 10. News that works for you.
Legos and you love dinosaurs, you may want to check out the latest exhibit at the Tampa Museum of Science and Industry in Florida.
A professional Lego builder from Scotland has put together an amazing creation of prehistoric dinosaurs. The exhibit is called Brick Dinos. The head of the museum says the display is a triple win for visitors with passions for dinosaurs, Legos, and building. Now, the exhibit itself is free, but there is an admission charge for adults and children to get into the museum itself. Brick Dinos will be on display through September 3rd.
I'm just looking at that pterodactyl that's hanging from the ceiling saying, "Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall."
That one right there.
I'm just envisioning night at the museum where it goes dark and those things just all come to life. Even that the picture they had just a second ago with like the museum look behind it, it looks like night at the museum.
Very cool. All right, Doug, let's take a look at our viewer pick for tonight.
Something else cool to show you here, the Aurora Borealis. Just in case you missed it or haven't seen any photos, we got another one to show you here. Adam Martinez took this in Fort Hall. You can see the colors through the trees. Nicely done. You have a weather photo you'd like to show off any season, anywhere, any year, just send it my way.
All right, you can get the latest news and weather and election results delivered right to your mobile device. Just download that KPVI News app for your phone or tablet. You'll find links at kpvi.com. See you back here tomorrow.